know if I don't know if my internet speed here will support live streaming, so this could be a total disaster. But um, anyway, I'm not sure if anybody comments. I don't really know if it shows up or not. I don't expect anybody to actually be here live with us, but that'd be great if they were. Um, so my name is Shauna, and I am coming to you from Alpine, Tennessee. And I live on a farm with my husband and my son. My son's at school. Actually, he's on his way home, but he wanted to get off at my grandma's today, so he'll be there in a few minutes, a little bit. I don't know, about probably 30 minutes from now. Um, but anyway, I am the dyer behind Farm Girl Fibers, and you can find my shop on Etsy as Farm Girl Fibers. I'm also on Instagram as Farm Girl Fibers and on Ravelry as SL Hargis. So there is a podcast group, and I need to get active in the podcast group and think of some knit-alongs to do. I don't know. If you have any suggestions for knit-alongs that you might want to participate in, that'd be great. You can leave me a comment somewheres. And I don't even know how to tell if there's anybody even watching this. Probably not. But it says we have live chat. I don't know. This could be, like I said, a disaster. I do have some coffee, just because I felt like having coffee this afternoon. Super gloomy today, so the lighting's a bit strange. I had to turn the overhead light on, because even though I'm sitting literally right next to the window, it's so cloudy that there's no light. So we've got some cool bluish light from the window and some yellowish light from the overhead light. But I think it'll be okay, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I should have. I'm also having to sit kind of close to the plug-in because my phone's about to go dead. It's always going dead. So that's another problem. But I think it'll be okay. So I've got Starbucks. I didn't get it from Starbucks. I got the ground coffee. I think it's like Pike's Place or something other. And I got that with some Oreo creamer, which the Oreo creamer is very, very good. I really like it. So, as you know, if you've ever watched before, it's been a long time since I've done any podcast, and I keep meaning to, but then I always feel so weird talking on a video that I end up not doing the podcast. I hope y'all can hear me too. I don't know if I need to move closer or not. To be honest, I don't even know if you can see me, because with the way the internet is, it's probably too slow to even upload a live video. But we'll see. So I'll move it just a little bit closer so I don't have to shout so much. So anyway, I just feel kind of weird talking to the YouTube and stuff, but I do like interacting with everybody, so I'm going to try. I know I keep saying this, but I'm definitely going to try this time to start being more consistent with the uploads, the episodes. And I've been knitting quite a bit this summer, but I'm not going to show everything. One sweater I don't even have with me anymore, but it's ended up being too big for me, so I had to give it to my sister. I didn't really want to, but that would be a finished object. And I also don't have a very good picture. Maybe I can get her to wear it sometime and take a picture to put it on Ravelry and stuff. I'm really bad at updating my projects on Ravelry, because it just, I don't know, takes a lot of time to type everything in. So I always forget to do that. But anyway, maybe I can get her to model it sometime so I can take a good picture of it to post somewheres. And so that was the Ingle sweater, the one that I don't have. And it was knit. I may have, oh, I do have the yarns I use. Well, the colors. I don't have both of them, but let's see. I have this color. I used my midnight color, which I really need to revamp this and make it quite a bit darker if it's going to be named Midnight, or just change the name. But the very, very first batch was a lot darker. And ever since then, I don't know. I guess I've been afraid to put so much dye in it or something. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's very, very tonal blue. It's a little bit darker than what's showing up on camera. This right here isn't quite as bright. But anyways, it's got some turquoise and then darker blue here. It's not exactly true to color on the video there, but the pictures on Etsy are true to color. Here is, I don't know why it's turning all yellowy in the background, but anyway, I'm sorry. Here is Weeping Angels, and it is just a tonal gray with some black speckles, and it is definitely my favorite gray, I do believe. So I use these two colors. I use the Midnight as the main body and the Weeping Angels as the color work at the top. I did the sweater on Polworth DK, which is not a base I'll carry all the time. I really like it. It doesn't seem to sell very well because I guess people don't really know. Well, I didn't know what Polworth was until a few months ago, but it's very neat. It's nice to work with. It's not quite as soft as merino, but my sister wore the sweater when we went to Fiber in the Borough, and she said it wasn't itchy. So it's still soft. It's just not merino. Polworth is a breed of sheep that was produced or whatever by breeding, I think, Lincoln sheep and merino sheep. So you still get a little soft. You still get some softness. It's just not the same as a 100%, merino something. But she really liked it. So there was that finished object. I've been making a lot of sweaters, so I still don't have the Vortex shawl done. I did finish the Bendy Arrow. And I haven't blocked it yet, but I definitely, maybe I can do that this week, because I would like to wear it. And I'm thinking it will probably grow just some whenever I block it. It's quite, as you can tell, it's my wingspan, but it wouldn't hurt for it to be just slightly longer, so it can, when I wrap it around, it can drape down just a little bit more. But it starts out on this side, and then you do some stripes, then you do short rows here to make that, I don't know, boomerang-like shape. Then you do some more stripes, and I was supposed to finish with the darker color, but I forgot to change. So anyways, it's all solid. It'd probably look better if I had to put the darker color here, but it'll be okay. I think I got to like right about here, and then I was like, whoops, didn't change. So by that point, I wasn't going to take it out. I just want to get it done. This pattern is very easy. A couple things I did, if you have ever knitted or looked at the pattern, the spine has some yarn overs. And I started with the yarn overs, but my yarn overs were very sloppy. I didn't really like them. They weren't looking very good. So I decided I still did the yarn overs to increase, but then on the purl row, the next row, I knit through the back loop of the yarn over to close it up. And I took this spine here and made a knit stitch. So every wrong side row, I purled that one stitch there, and I just really like that effect. That's the only thing I changed, but you can see the the knit stitch goes all the way over here. And I like, this is by, oh, I didn't say who it was by. It's by The Bendy Arrow by Charlotte Bory. I used, this color was the first witching hour, and all the other witching hours have been not as blue and purple. I don't know what I did to get so much blue and purple, but the rest of them ended up with not quite as saturated with the purple. They were, the purple ended up more pink and had a bit more green, but they're still pretty. This is the last one I have left, and I think it's on sale. I believe it might be on sale in the shop. I can't remember for sure. But this is the last one I have left on the sparkle base, which I'm not going to be carrying the sparkle base. I may get a sparkle at some point, but for now, I'm not going to do sparkle. I'm going to try to do just 3 bases for now, and then I'll add some more later. But sorry about that. But Charlotte Bory, Bendy Arrow, and the speckly green and gray is by Bad Wolf Girl Studio. And this was the Slughorn's Christmas party. She did a set this summer with Simply Serving, Lindsay, and so Lindsay made the little slug marker, which I have right here actually. I love Simply Serving's Progress Keepers. So the kit came with this little slug, and it has holly berries and leaves at the top, you know, for the Christmas party. And then one skein of this. I got the 7525 Superwash Merino Nylon. Oh, I think yeah, I dropped a stitch or something right here, so I'm gonna have to sew that up before I block it. But anyway, hopefully I can block that this week. I just have been lazy because when you block shawls, you have to have quite a bit of space, and so that means I have to do something with all the bags of yarn that's in the room in here, and I just haven't. I don't know why. I should have done that this weekend whenever I was going to the trunk show, and then the yarn was not here at the house, but I didn't think about that then. So another thing did was I made this little brioche hat out of, so this was the very first version of Midnight, so that really does look midnight-like. This is Midnight on the sparkle, and this other color is Halloween, which was a one-of-a-kind colorway. I've sold out of it now, but I made this hat. It's too small. So I've not decided if I'm going to give it to somebody or reuse this for socks, because I have quite a bit. I need to see how much is left over and make sure I have enough of this color for some socks, because I really want some socks out of that. I think it would make good socks. I mean, I like it in the hat too. I could just rip it out and make another hat. I don't know. But anyway, it's I used the cast on number and the brim for Dragon Horde Yarns brioche pussy cat hat, or whatever it's called. So that's where I got the number for what to cast on. I used size 3 needles. I did knit 1, purl 1 for the brim, and then I switched over to brioche, 2-color brioche. And then whenever I got what I thought was long enough, it wasn't long enough. I did the decreases. I don't remember how I figured out how many to do on the decreases, but I think I've done 6. 1, 2, 3, 5. So it makes kind of like a little star there at the top, which is kind of cool. I wanted it, it's just not big enough for me. But anyway, it may or may not get frogged. Um, Another thing I've made and finished is this sweater, and this was um, on my Clover base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and it's extremely soft yarn. So this is my Clover base, and this was the color Enchanted Nightmares. Every time I hold anything close to the camera, it makes the background yellow. I don't know why, but anyway, something about white balance. So I wanted a boxy style sweater, and I wanted cables on the side and texture in the middle of the front, and then I wanted the back to be plain stockinette and the sleeves stockinette. So I looked and looked and looked for a very long time on Ravelry, and I never could find what I was wanting. So anyways, I decided I would attempt to design it myself. And I'm subscribed to the app thing, whatever, called Scribd, Scribd. And so I've been trying that out with audiobooks and stuff, just because it's cheaper than Audible. I do like Audible better though. But anyway, I may end up going back to Audible. I don't know, we'll see. But I looked up on it. You can also get audiobooks, magazines, I think, and regular books. So you can actually read on download and read it if you want to. And so I did that, and I looked in some Stitch dictionaries, and I have it bookmarked. I can't remember which one, but anyways, I found the horseshoe cable thing in one of them, and then I found this crisscross texture thing in another one. And so I figured out, I did a gauge swatch, figured out how many stitches I would need, converted this texture, well, both texture and the cable, to knitting in the round versus flat where you have to purl and knit. So anyway, I did that, and I started at the bottom, and then I just, whenever I got to however long I thought it needed to be, I did the front, then I did the back, and then I did a 3-needle bind off. And on this one I had the seam showing, so you can see like the seam, which I thought would be good for this, and it turned out to be a good option for that. I did do some short rows on the shoulder. I could have probably done better to shape the neck, but it ended up being a little bit wider necked than I had originally kind of wanted it to be, but it also ended up being a little bit more cropped than I originally wanted it to be. But I wear a tank top under it, and no big deal. And I have wore this a lot since I made it. The yarn is so soft, and I like the color, and I love the design here. So I think I'm going to make another one in a different, maybe sport weight or something, but I've not decided. I may try a totally different pattern. There's a whole bunch of sweater patterns I'd like to try, but I definitely want to make another sweater in my merino cashmere nylon base, because it is very, very soft. And then another sweater is made on a new worsted weight base that I have now. It is 100% superwash merino, and the supplier where I get the yarns has it listed as DK, but yardage wise, I'm pretty sure it's worsted weight. It feels like worsted weight, and it has 218 yards per 100 grams. So, um, maybe it's a light worsted weight. But anyway, um, so I decided this is my autumn maize color, and is it was inspired by a picture of Indian corn that I saw online. So it has some burgundies, a little bit of brown, some purpley blue, and then sections of bear yarn. So hopefully with this light it's coming out pretty good. But I have some of this in the shop, and on worsted weight and on fingering weight. I don't think I have any on the cashmere, but anyway, this has been a very popular color. I'm probably not going to dye it anymore until next year sometime. I don't know if I'll dye it this winter or not. But anyway, I love, love, love this color, and I love this sweater. And I've wore the sweater at least once a week since I got it done. So it was also bottom up, and I did a shorter hem on this one than I did on the other one. So the hem's only about maybe like an inch, if that much. Then it has a cable, an ornamental or antler cable up the middle here. It's a 36 stitch cable because I wanted a really wide cable. And then the back of it's just all stockinette. Again, I got to the underarm, and then I did the front, then I did the back, and I did a 3 needle bind off, but this time I turned it inside out so that way the seam is more invisible. It's not completely invisible. The Kitchener stitch would, I'm sure, be better, but I'm not very good at doing the Kitchener stitch, so I thought 3 needle bind off would be better. Easier for me to do. This is on size 8 needle. I forgot to mention the other sweater, this pale purple sweater, I used a size 5 needle. And did I mention this was on fingering weight, my clover base? I'm pretty sure I did. But anyway, this one I used a size 8, so it's really drapey, and we've actually had a very cool fall ever since about the 2nd week of October, or the 3rd week of October, or something like that. It was super hot, and then all of a sudden it got cold. And it stayed pretty cool ever since then, which I am absolutely loving. I get to wear all the flannel, I get to wear the sweaters, and all the knitwear. So I'm happy. A lot of people are not, but you know, I like being able to wear all the warm, comfy clothes. And so, oh, the sweater that my sister ended up with was the Ingalls sweater. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. It was by Caitlin Hunter, Boyland Knitworks, and I guess that's all I think I said everything else that needed to be said about that one. So there's that one. And I want to share with you another project I started way back after my podcast, I think in August. The day after I podcasted, I decided, because I'd been wanting to make a scrappy blanket for a while, and I tried a little, like, where you crochet little squares, and I can't remember, it was a pattern by Pearl Soho. I tried that, but every time I did a crochet square, I had to really, really concentrate on the square and count how many crochet stitches you do and everything. It was just not working out. I tried a corner to corner blanket. That was a disaster as well. I made one square for the Cozy Memories, and I didn't like it either. I like them whenever, you know, I see them on podcast, but I didn't really like making that square for some reason. It felt like that one little square took forever. I don't know why. But anyway, so who I was talking about this? Meg from Bad Wolf Girl Studios, I think Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady, and Allison from Lofty Loops was all making Bits and Bob's blankets. And I decided I had to jump on the wagon. So I started the Bits and Bob blanket. And I've already got at least 2 foot. That may be more than, I don't know. It could be closer to 2.5 feet. But I've already got all this. And what I'm doing is, because I didn't want to really go out and buy more yarn, so I'm using neutral scraps for 1 strand, because you hold 2 fingering weight strands together and use the size 6 needles. So here's all I have left of this little cake. This particular sparkle right here is from a mini skein set that Meg from Bad Wolf Girl did this summer. I think it was this summer, could be last spring. It was, I think, the one that was Diagon Alley to Hogsmeade or whatever. So that was that one. I've also put in some Knit Picks, just white Knit Picks yarn. I've used a lot of leftovers from other stuff that I've made. So like there's some, I had some Bear Yak yarn laying around from, I really don't know what from. So that's going in here. That'd be this. Then I think this inside is the earliest Weeping Angel color, and I used it in some other project. I don't remember what now. So I just got lots of neutrals. Here's another. I don't know if I'm gonna use this as a new. I think this is leftover Mooney from Little Bean, so I'm gonna use that as the neutral. I'm not. I'll probably use this as the neutral since it's mostly bear yarn. But anyway, really pretty. I made socks out of that this summer. So just lots of neutrals. I've also made, and I've already went through one giant cake of yarn, but whenever I decided to do this, I started out just like knitting some from different balls and then tying it together, but I decided I didn't want to have to do that. So I took the time and made all these giant, which this one's small compared to the other one, but these big cakes of yarn, and oh my goodness, they're so pretty. I just love these, the way it looks with all the different colors in here. And then if you look at the other side, so these are mixes of my yarn, some of my yarn, like scraps that I've used. Some of it's before I started selling. Well, probably most of it's before I started selling yarns. I put in my Halloween mini skein set. I think that right there is from my Halloween mini skeins. This purple pink on the outside is another one, a mini skein from the Hogsmeade to Diagon Alley set. I've got some Telezelda's Time and Space right in there next to it, the blue and yellow. There's some in there from Wolfiend. I'm pretty sure that green that you're seeing right there, the neon and the darker green, those are both from Wolfiend. I got a mystery mini skein set thing this summer from her. So several different yarns are in here. And this cake is what I'm working out of at the moment. Now this is big. I think it was like 250 grams of yarn or something. I know this outside color is mine that I dyed up a long time ago before I started selling. It was one of the first ones that I did. This particular cake has some from Nomadic Yarns, like that minty green was from the Hermione socks. There's also some, what's the color? Mischief Managed in here somewheres. There's some Sassenach in here somewhere. There's some Felici. What I'm working on right at the moment is, I think Felici Soft Serve. It's very pastel there in the middle. And I don't even know what else is in here. Oh, I think that this with the orange is from the Burrow from Nomadic Yarns. So this one is very much a scrappy cake. There's probably a mini skein or two stuck in here somewheres, but what I did was, as I was winding it, I had the cake or the ball of yarn to weigh on the scale, so I put about 10 grams of each scrap, each color in the skein, and then, you know, if it's a 20-gram mini, I split it up and put, you know, half in one cake and half in another cake. But anyways, that just makes it a little bit, I think, a little bit more fun for me to knit on if I only have about 10 grams at a time, because it makes about 4 to 5 rows. So, like, 10 grams of yarn for me makes 5 rows. So every 5 rows, the color changes. And if you're worried about using, like if you have a bunch of fleecy or self-strapping, the fleecy is really cool, because if you see that right there, it makes like mini straps, like 1 row straps. So that makes it really interesting. One thing about using the scraps for the second color, and it doesn't bother me, but it might bother some people, is that you get light and dark areas. So really I should have used, I should have held this neon green off to a part where I had some yak yarn. But anyway, so like if you notice down here at the bottom, it started out with yak being the second, the contrast, so it's a bit darker, then it gets lighter, then there's some gray in here somewhere, and it gets a little bit darker again. Then there's a big section where the contrast color was white. But anyway, it don't bother me at all. I like the difference. These 2 colors were from my Halloween mini sets, or maybe just one of them, I don't remember. The neon green was from Wolfiend, that mystery set. And lots of yarns. There's, I think this right here was Silence in the Library. And, oh, this right here was from Molly Klein Design. This, that has the neon green. It was the original I Put a Spell on You color. This was my Tits Out collective, right here with the pinks and yellows. So, lots of neat colors, and it's really, 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 it's not brioche, but it feels and looks like brioche. It's the way you do the stitch, it looks like brioche, but it's just slightly more dense, I guess. Less open, maybe, less holy, or whatever. But I really, really love it. So, there's the Bits and Bobs blanket. And I'll get back to working on that whenever I get done with the test knit that I'm currently doing. I've also got to get back to working on the Vortex shawl, because I really need that to be finished. I would wear that a lot this winter. But that brings us to the test knit, which is what I've been working on mostly the last week and a half. And so this is for Dragon Horde Yarn, Tristan. And this is her doe cardigan. It is a pattern that is going to be released sometime early to mid-December, I think. We're still working on testing it, but it shouldn't be. Okay, I think I'm still. I don't, am I live? Okay, I had a phone call. I gotta hurry this up, but I think I'm live again. So I may have to do a separate video for stash, or shop, shop yarns or whatever. But, so I knit on this, like, literally, this is the only thing I knit on last week. And I finished the whole body of a finger and weight cardigan in 1 week. I'm really surprised. And it's got a little bit of color at the bottom. It's, she put in these really neat raglan, what is it, increases here, which I don't know if they'll show up, but you can see there it's has a really, I think it adds a really neat detail. So this is made out of my Nevermore color. There's not much of this left, but I will be dyeing some more up. And because this is like definitely one of my favorite colors that I've dyed so far. So it's Nevermore and Weeping Angels. I don't know. Oh, on my clover base, and I'm using a size 4 needle to get gauge. So I started the sleeve sometime yesterday evening. I bound off the body yesterday afternoon, then started on the sleeve last night. We watched Ferdinand, and even if you don't have kids, you need to watch that movie. It is so hilarious. I laughed so hard. We're working on, I think, 36 minutes, so I'm going to put the shop announcement in another video. It may be, probably will be tomorrow. I've got all the yarn out here, but it'll be tomorrow before I get that done. So, anyway, started the sleeve, and I've got a few more decreases to do. Then I can start the color work on the sleeve. Then I can do the next sleeve. I'm not really looking forward to picking up for the button band, because whenever I did the Comfort Fade Cardi and I picked up for the button band, it took so stinking long to get it right. So if anybody has any tips on picking up stitches for button band and, you know, getting the correct number of stitches, because like for the Comfort Fade, I don't remember, like 300, I don't know, 200 and something, 300 stitches, and then I'd get to the very end, and I would only have like 280. Then I redid it, and then I had like 320. So I was always off. But I'm going to have to cut this short because I need to call and make sure, call back and make sure everything is okay with, make sure my son got off the bus correctly and everything. So, because that was my grandma that just called. He wanted to ride to her house for some reason. Well, she has better food than we have here. So that's why he likes to ride to her house whenever he can. So, anyways, I apologize for cutting it kind of short. Like, bam, it's over. But it has been a bit of a long podcast. I had more stuff, finished objects, I guess, than I thought. Well, I definitely did. I had 3 sweaters and a shawl. So, there you go. But anyways, I'll try to film another video tomorrow that tells to show what's in the shop, because there's lots of goodies in the shop that that I'm really excited about the yarn colors that I have right now. So, I want to share those with you, and you know, some pairing ideas of color combinations for different things, color work, shawls, sweaters, whatever. So anyways, I'll do that soon, and hopefully I can start doing a podcast every other week, probably. And hope everybody has a happy Thanksgiving, safe travels, eat lots of good food, get some good deals on Black Friday. I am having a sale right now, where you get I think it's a 15% discount if you order 3 or more skeins. So if you get a sweaters quantity, then you get a discount. There's also free shipping to the US on any order. And there's a few stitch markers left. I think they're I hope the stitch markers are in the shop. I guess I put them back in the shop. I'm pretty sure that yeah. Whenever I put it, the stitch markers are there. I'm almost sure. But anyway, there's one bag and yarn set, which is still in the truck from the trunk show the other day. But the yarn is by Emily from Wolfiend, and the bag's by me. So make sure you check that out. There's only one left, and I don't know if there's any left in her shop. But if there's not any left in her shop, that's the last. that we have. So if you're wanting a dream catcher bag, it's a very pretty plum color with gold and turquoise and purple dream catchers, and then the yarn is speckled on a cream base with a plum mini skein for heels, toes, cuffs, or whatever. So anyway, I guess that's about it. So I'll see you next time, and have a nice time, have a nice holiday or whatever. I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to get this off of here. How do I stop it? Oh, I think I got it.